came to that particular point, and it was said that he saw Farah Sawad al-Insan. He saw somebody, a black figure from a distance. So then he came closer to that figure, and when he realized, he saw Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, and he realized it was the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam's wife. He said, "Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un." Truly to Allah we belong, and truly to Him we shall return. And upon that note, when he said that, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she awoke. And after that, he brought forth the riding beast and lowered it so Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha could mount the riding beast, and then he would take her back. And she said, Allah, فَوَاللَّهِ مَا كَلَّمْنِي كَلِمَةً. She said, by Allah I swear, he did not say anything to me. He did not speak to me. When I did not hear anything, except that he said, "Inna lillahi wa inna raji'un." So then, he would walk forth, and he had a rope, and he would be pulling the riding beast, and Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha was on the back, or was behind him on the beast. So when they arrived and caught up with the Jaysh, with the army, she said, then whoever was meant for destruction fell into destruction. Because at that particular time when they arrived, this is when the rumor started. And from the leader of them, Ash-Shawkani, rahimahullah ta'ala, fi tafsirihi, he mentions that the Usbah, that group which was mentioned in the ayah, they were 5. And from the rats of them was Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, a munafiq, and Hassan ibn Thabbat, wa Mistah ibn Uthatha, Zayd ibn Rafa'a, Hamna bint Jahsh. These were the 5. They were the main instigators of this particular rumor. So then, they returned to Medina. And Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she became ill for 1 month, it mentioned. And the people were spreading these slanders and lies upon the mother of the believers. And she did not know, because she was ill and she was in the house. But she said, I felt something from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because normally when I was ill, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was very kind and very gentle. But this particular time, I noticed that he was somewhat different. So much that he used to come in and he used to say, he used to give salams and greet and then say, Kayfa tikum. He used to say, how is that lady? He would not mention her name. So from that, she had doubt. So after a month passed, and she became better and was cured from her illness, she left out with Mistah, because they used to go out when they wanted to call to the call of nature. They used to go far out, and that used to be in the evenings. So she went out with Mistah to take care of the Hajjah. On the way back, Mistah, she stumbled upon her robe, and then she says, Ta'as Mistah. She said, let Mistah be ruined. And Mistah was her son. Then Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha said to her, why do you curse him? For verily, he's an individual that witnessed one of the battles. So why is it that you curse him? And then she said it again. When she stumbled, she said it again. 3 times in a riwayah that it was mentioned. Then Aisha said, why do you keep on saying this? And then she said to Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, do you not know what he says? And then she says, no, I do not know. Then she was informed of the rumors and the slanders upon her. Then she said, Wallah, when I heard what they said regarding me, she said, I fell into tears and broke down straight away. And then she said, Subhanallah, this is what they say? And then she went back. She went back to the house. And there the Prophet ﷺ was present. And she said to the Prophet, may I go? Do you give me permission to go to my parents' house? So the Prophet ﷺ granted her permission. And then when she went to her parents' house to Akid, it says, to find out exactly what was being said. And then when she came, and she said to her mother, that have you heard what they are saying about me? Have you heard? She says, instead of saying yes, that I have heard, she tried to lighten the matter. She said, there is no charming lady who is loved by a husband who has other wives, but these wives will find fault in her. She tried to make it out that it was just the wives that were saying this, to be light to Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. Then upon that, she said, Subhanallah, are the people really saying this? And then she began to cry. She cried the whole night, up until the morning. And she said, I could not sleep. I wept all night. I couldn't sleep and I couldn't stop crying. And then afterwards, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam called for Ali bin Abi Talib wa Usama bin Zayd. He said he called those particular two individuals. This is before the wahi came down. And he called those two to consult them regarding divorcing his wife. And then Usama ibn Zayd said, indeed, we do not know your wife to be like this. We only know good of her. So do not divorce her. Ali ibn Abi Talib, he said that Allah does not impose any restrictions on you, Ya Rasulullah. There are many other women than she. But he said, ask the servant, the slave girl, regarding Aisha. So then the Prophet ﷺ called for this slave girl and says, what do you know regarding Aisha? Then she said, by Allah, I do not know anything bad regarding Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, except for that she is young, she is immature, because it is reported that at that particular time she was only 15. And she is young, and she sleeps, and she leaves the dough unprotected, and the domestic goats come and they eat it. This is the only fault which they found in Aisha. Then upon that, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he embarked the mimbar, he said, Ya ma'shar al-Muslimin. He said, O Muslims, who would support me in punishing these individuals? And from them is Abdullah. He said, who will help me regarding these individuals? And then, because verily he has lied, or he spread rumors regarding my family, and he spread rumors regarding an individual that I only know good of, an individual that did not enter my house except that I was there. And then Sa'd ibn Mu'adh al-Ansari said, he stood up and he said, I will relieve you from him. And he said, verily, if he is from the tribe of Aus, then we will chop off his head. And then if he is from the tribe of Khazraj, then verily, whatever you order us to do, Ya Rasulullah, we will do that particular thing. Then Sa'd ibn Ubadah, who was from the chief and the lead, one of the leaders of Khazraj, he stood up. And because he was motivated by the zeal and the love of his tribe, he said, by Allah the Eternal, you have told a lie. You cannot kill him. Meaning Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, you cannot kill him, and you will never kill him, because the particular thing of having pride of the tribes has now crept in. And then on the other side, Usayd ibn Hudayr, who was the son of the uncle of Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, he stood up and he said, by Allah, you are a liar, and we will kill him, because indeed you are a hypocrite and you are defending the hypocrites. Upon seeing this, the Prophet ﷺ saw two tribes nearly at war, so he managed to calm them down, and then he remained quiet, and then he left the Amr. Upon that, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she began crying even more, and then she wept for 2 nights and a day with no sleep. No sleep up until Abu Bakr and his wife said that we thought that her liver was going to burst, because the excessive crying that she was doing. And why? Because she thought at that particular time, when the Prophet ﷺ stood on the mimbar and was asking for aid, that her innocence would be declared. But when the Prophet ﷺ from his wisdom and his hikmah saw that these two tribes were going to go to war, he left the Amr. So upon there, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha was still in the same position. So she cried. And there was a woman from the Ansar